We're here, guys. We're here. Welcome to FYI to each and every one of you, wherever you beautiful, fantastic folks are joining us from this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we are happy, very, very happy that each and every one of you are here with us. We are very, very, very happy that you folks are here with us. Thanks for joining us this morning. Good to see each and every one of you. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Great to see you, as a matter of fact. Yolanda Thomas, Dolly Anderson is here with us. I see Shanette Hohenkirk is here with us as well. Annette Cummins, Gwyneth Anderson, guys. So much happening. So very much happening this morning. And we are ready to get right to it. We know we're a bit late, but we are ready to get right to it, folks. Alexis Chamley, we see you there. Rena Cummins, we see you there. Timna Ford, Terrence Beaton, and all the other folks who are here with us. Great to see you guys. Thanks for joining us wherever you fantastic folks are joining us from. We are really, really privileged that you folks are here with us. Know how we do it. Share the live, folks, as you come on. Smash that emoji button as well. We're going to take the opportunity to ensure, folks, that we are shared to all the right places. Do that for us, Michaela and Shirley. Do that for us, Stacy and Timna. Do that for us, Sabrina Jacobs. Make sure that we are shared to the places you know we're supposed to be shared to. Do that for us, guys. I see Ingrid King is here and Marilyn Morrison is here as well. And quite a few of you guys. Ingrid, Beverly Trim is here. Good to see you, Beverly. Timna, of course. Winston Granada. Winston, good to see you. Great to see you, Winston. Good to see you here. Quincy Adams is here. Hyacinth Skeet is here. Good to see you, Hyacinth, as well. Hyacinth, good to see you. Magnell Barrow. All of our favorite people, guys, we're happy you folks are here with us. We're ensuring that we are shared to all the right places. Good to see you. Winella Garnett, Stan Bourne. How are you doing, Stan? How are you doing? I see Linda Baker is here with us as well. Linda, how are you doing? Great to have you, Linda. Great to have you. Who else here with us? Good to see Anna Phillips. Linda Webster is here. Claire Capel. Good to see you, Claire and Linda. Wonderful people. Corwin Grant is here as well. Good to have you here, Corwin. All the other folks who are joining us, guys, we are very, very happy that you folks are here with us. That's what I try with us with now. Why are you trying with me? Don't do it. Don't do it. Facebook doing the most. Guys, we are happy that you are here. We are happy that you are well. We trust that all is well at your end. Good to have all of you wonderful folks here with us. You know, we see the internet doing its own stuff this morning too. Whenever Garrett, we see you. Mark Alman is there as well. Edward Gonzalez. Folks, the big question we can be asking this morning, whether the authorities are listening, whether they're hearing the people saying a lot of things. The people out there saying a lot of things, guys. And the question is, whether they're hearing. That is the question. You know, over the weekend, we saw some folks, as we said, a lot of things are being said. We don't get the impression, we do not get the impression the authorities are listening. We saw one big auntie saying, I got a lot of problems here, you're all in power, but I don't see anything different. I don't see anything different. The councillors in this place not working at all. What's happening? Are they listening? That is one of the questions, guys, we are going to be asking. Take a look and take a listen at this.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. President, why people can't live in peace in Kanshiki Infield? This is years now going and coming. You complain to this NDC about this stinkness in front of you. I live in Lowside, the breeze coming on the inside. There's where I'm living. This is a residential area according to Mr. Regional Chairman Armagan. You get the Canfield Enterprise NDC. Sherry and are you doing nothing good for people in here? One side people she doing for just your friend and family. Not a thing. My husband there only couple, in a reach a month properly. You can't sit down for take well fresh air. Maybe in a house and got to live inside like jail. Got lock up. Stinkness upon your head and swing your head. That thing what this man do over here, burn a chicken soon mining and on this dock and get one set of smelly thing in front of your place. Come on. Like now Guyana go divide with Hindu and Muslim. Muslim one side and Hindu one side, and because me Hindu, me can't survive. Only one set people survive, Mr. President and Mr. Dharamlal. You're a Borbishan, you know how Borbishan people respect their religion. And you know, when people learning from people how they respect their religion, you're growing Borbis, you know that. And I need some peace in Canfield. I live here and I get a last me husband and me alone. I live in. If anything happened to me, I'm a file sick. Everybody got to know. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. President, why people can't live in peace in Kanchi Canfield? This is years now going and coming. You complain to this NDC about this stinkness in front of you. I live in Lowside, the breeze coming on the inside. There's where I'm living. This is a residential area, according to Mr. Regional Chairman Armagan. You get the Canfield Enterprise NDC. Shariambi, are you doing nothing good for people in here? One side people she doing for just your friend and family? Not a thing. My husband there only couple, in a reach a month properly. You can consider for take a little fresh air. Maybe a house and got to live inside like jail. Got lock up. Stinkness upon your head and swing your head. That thing what this man do for you, burn the chicken soon mining and on this dock and get one set of smelly thing in front of your place. Come on. Like now Guyana go divide with Hindu and Muslim. Muslim one side and Hindu one side, and because me a Hindu, me can't survive. Only one set people survive, Mr. President and Mr. Dharamlal. You're a Borbishan, you know how Borbishan people respect their religion. And you know, when people learning from people how they respect their religion, you're growing Borbis, you know that. And I need some peace in Canfield. I live here and I get a last me husband and me alone. I live in. If anything happened to me, I'm a file sick. Everybody got to know. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. President, why people can't live in peace in Kanchi Canfield? This is years now going and coming. You complain to this NDC about this stinkness in front of you. I live in Lowside, the breeze coming on the inside. There's where I'm living. This is a...
Yep. You heard that, folks. You heard that. People, the question is we're going to be asking whether the authorities are listening. That's the question we're going to be asking for the big issue. Whether the authorities are listening. It doesn't quite appear so. It does not quite appear so. Cecile Ogle, what do you think about that? Rena Cummins, what do you think about that? Marlon Lorimer, what do you think about that? Are the authorities listening? That's the big question. That is the big question, and that's the one we're going to be looking at. Whether they are listening. Marlon Lorimer, are they listening? What do you think? we don't think so. We don't think so. We don't think the guys are listening at all. Folks, I don't know about you, but we are ready to get into the morning papers. We are fired up at this end, and we are ready to get into the morning papers, and we trust that you folks are as well. Yep, we are ready. How about you guys? No time to lose, Yolanda Thomas. They don't care, Yolanda Thomas says. Actually, Abrams, we see you there. Loretta Argyle. Them boys are listening to nobody. Them boys not listening to anybody. Them boys don't care. They don't care. They're listening to anybody. Who are they listening to? That's what I want to know. Who are they listening to? They're listening to nobody. Folks, we are set to get into the morning papers, and we trust that you guys are ready. Mavis Davis Wells, we got a lot of things that are happening, guys. We think you all know about. quite a few things happening. How are you? How are things happening by your end? Let us know one of the headlines perhaps happening by your end. Naomi Drucker, we see you there. Sheila Boyd-Child. Sheila Boyd-Child asking, who listening to who? Stacey Ed Stoll, Ronald Royal, Ingrid King. Them boys are listening. And look at this headline we saw just today, guys. Just today, one of the headlines making in the morning papers. Bandits chop and rob man on the backdam trail. In the backdam trail. One of the headlines making the morning papers, guys. You're not safe anywhere. The fella worked for little gold and sun coming out peacefully, you know. And them boys hijack him, waylay him in the backdam, took the gold, chopped about several parts of his body. And thankfully, you know, he walked away with his life and is recovering. But again, it brings to bear. Them boys promised us, since they were campaigning, they said they're going to do a crime plan, a crime prevention plan. Well, we're still waiting. Still holding for that crime prevention plan. How is that looking for us? How is it looking for us? That crime prevention plan. How is it looking for us? Still waiting. Maybe, perhaps. Still holding for them boys is a crime prevention plan. Well, things are looking to kosher of that end. Still waiting, still hoping. Maybe, you know, it's going to happen. It might happen. Just maybe. Holding, folks, been a holding pattern for that crime prevention plan. The bandits chop the fellas. They think they come for, you know, them boys come back for the thing. And so the fella, Mr. Hernandez, I think it is, make sure we get that name right, walked away with his life, thankfully. Walked away with his life. Right? Because them boys, of course, as I said, come back for the thing. And they're still promising us a crime prevention plan. This is the Aranca Backdam, they're telling us, Region 7. And the victim, he don't want to live through that again. Doesn't want to live through that again. Aranca Backdam coming out with his goal. Well, till there, like so many people, and work hard, trying to move things forward in this one Guyana. And then them boys punks at him. Them boys punks at him. Well, that's how they operate. And the authorities, folks, you're getting robbed in this country here with impunity. You're getting robbed and being robbed with impunity. Anybody cares? Right? We can ask the big question there. Anybody listening? People in this country being robbed with impunity. Anybody listening? Anybody hearing us? Anybody cares? That's the big question. Anybody cares? And then we turn our attention to another big issue. Vaccine, albeit, you know. Vaccine issue. The EPA and the waivers of this process, this facility, this mechanism called the environmental impact assessment. And in today's Kitro News, I think it is Dr. Vincent Adams, the former head of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, who says that this stuff that's happening here is out of foolishness. And in one instance, the EIA that has to do with the the gas to shore project there at Wales, the reason that they give why they waive this EIA, this kind of undertaking, this kind of study, tells us whether this project will be harmful for the environment, you know, whether you and I stand to be affected by it in some way. Right? A number of things it looks at. And this one in particular that has to do with the gas to shore project, Dr. Vincent Alexander says, Dr. Vincent Adams rather says it's pure nonsense, sheer nonsense in his exact words. The EPA reason for waiving this project, he put it over as sheer nonsense, right? And in this report, apparently the EPA gives 6 reasons why they waive this EIA. And here is what Dr. Adams says. They give 6 reasons, and at number 3, they try to say that there would be no particulate no particulate matter. But that's total nonsense because gas is made up of particulate matter. So it's not going to be harmful because the project they're doing there has no particulate matter. Dr. Vince Allen says that's nonsense because gas is made up of particulate matter. He went on to say that whoever wrote that in this report for the EPA, right? He said they should be embarrassed to put that in the report. They should be embarrassed to put that in the report that this gas show project ain't got no particulate matter. And that's one of the reasons why they have waived the need for a EIA. He said they should be ashamed. Will they be ashamed? That's the other question. Will they be? Can they be ashamed? I don't know. I don't know, folks. It's just me. I don't know. I do not know. That's what we ask you guys to. We got to share and expose the foolishness that these fellows doing. A pack of nonsense. A pack of nonsense and a pack of foolishness. Folks, if you just joined us, we're in the morning papers and we're just walking through some of the headlines making the morning papers today. We're just touching on a couple of them. Not plenty. Just a couple of them we're touching on. Just a couple. And there's this one that we're looking at as well. Bartica couple says this assault complaint, we told you several times about this. This couple and another person, they're complaining that a prison officer or officers assaulted them violently. And we even showed you the picture of the three persons. Prison officer or officers assaulted them. And this was since mid-November, I think it was. Mid-November, and the guys are saying they are still waiting. Let me get it. 11th of November it happened. And they're still waiting to be told something substantive from the police in Bartica. When contacted, they're telling us, the report says that when contacted, the regional commander, senior superintendent of police, Dion Moore, he said that the report is still in Georgetown. And as soon as it comes back, the family is going to be briefed. As soon as the reports come back, the family is going to be briefed on that. So since the 11th day of November, it's almost it's more than a month. So almost 2 months now. And the people are saying, and clearly they're not letting up on the matter. The people are saying they're still waiting to hear. Right? Still waiting to hear from the authorities about where the investigation is going. And we show the pictures of those ladies, black and blue. Iron mouth bust up. And of course, we're picking this report out of Sabak News. Sabak News says when they contacted the regional commander, Dion Moore, he said the report there, tongue side. The report tongue side, and they hope that they're waiting for it. The report tongue side. That's what the reports indicate. According to Moore, they reported tongue side. What does it mean when them boys in report the tongue side? But look at this one. This one is a pretty interesting one. This other headline that we saw this morning is a very, very, very interesting headline. This is your friend Edgel Rivera. This other headline that we're going to focus on. All right. This is Edgel in London, I think it is. He said, we don't look for who you vote for. He was speaking on the developmental works happening at Linden, quote unquote. And you all remember quite recently I spoke with the regional chairman there who was looking over some work that's happening in the valley, Victory Valley. And he had several concerns. Well, you can't raise concerns, you know. Like how Big Auntie raised some concerns when we started the program. You can raise some concerns. That's the challenge. That's the challenge you folks got. So this one really was laughable. And the next one as well. He said, we don't look for how you voted. Well, tell the people at Mocha that. Because they see that they got different strokes for different folks. Pigeon Island, Charity, and so on. So this statement attributed to the bishop, I almost put good in front of that. I was holding myself back. This statement here attributed to the bishop. Well, y'all can let us know if it has any currency. Attributed to the bishop. Y'all can let us know whether the statement has any currency. We don't look for how you voted. Injani Jaikaram. What say you? Anna Phillips, Dolly Anderson, Sheila Boychild. What say you? We don't look for how you voted. That's what they say. Valerie Hackett. What say you, Valerie? We don't look for how you voted. Different than this one. We don't look for how you voted. That's what they say here. Well. But we understand. We thought this was laughable. We thought this was laughable. You know, ipso facto. The thing speaks for itself. Ipso facto. Yeah. Yep. And then we saw another one. And this one here is being attributed to the AG. Chavanza Williams, Beverly Trim. This one is attributed to the AG. Marilyn Larimer, Maria Vera, Jacinthia Noel, or O'Neill rather, Jacinthia O'Neill. This one is attributed to the AG. The AG says, government working to reduce corruption, abuse of power in public office. Yeah, they want leave some sugar for carried out. Government working to reduce corruption, abuse of power in office. Right? They're working. I can see them laboring. Candelina Indigit, I can see them laboring over that one. You know? Yeah. Toiling every night, boy. Let me see if we can reduce this corruption because, yeah, that's what they're known for. Let me see how we're gonna reduce this corruption. You know, this bribe taking by people like the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Indigenous Affairs and Marine Affairs. Or let me see how we can, you know, try to do better here. Because I can see them toiling. Warren Brigade, I can see them toiling. Warren, good to see you. Hope you got back safe. MD John, Shirley and Juice. You can see them boys toiling day and night. Folks, those are just some of the things that we got making the morning paper today. Just a couple of headlines. Yeah. Penelope Grant analyst said that they are working hard. Penelope Grant said, "You're serious?" In her comment on Facebook, she said, "You're serious?" Yeah. Jolly Anderson says, "Rubbish." Even Stevie Wonder could see them by Stephen. Even Stevie Wonder. Yvette Wolford got one question. Really? One question. That sums it up. One question. Really? Yeah. Folks, we're about ready to head into what's been happening internationally. We are about ready to head into some of the stuff happening internationally, folks. We're in the morning group. Some of the stuff that's been happening regionally. Some of the stuff that has been happening locally as well in the 519. We pulled out a couple of things from the morning papers for those persons who are now joining us, and we're about to check in to see what has been happening, folks. A couple of things happening internationally. We want to share with you, folks. A couple of things happening regionally, and a couple of things happening, folks, right here in the 592, wherever you're joining us from. We are pleased and privileged to have each and every one of you here with us. But folks, we can check in now and see some other things that are brewing. We got a couple of things brewing. But folks, first and foremost, you know, there was a huge ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal. Huge, ginormous ship transporting wheat from the Ukraine to China. And they got stuck there, and they managed to dislodge it over the weekend. It has implications, believe it or not, for all of us, because shipping, wherever shipping is concerned, and that's an important canal where lots of shipping happens and trade and so on pass through that area. And so one ship blocking the canal can have and has had a run-on effect on how goods and services, the efficiency in which it gets to you, and the efficiency in which it gets to me. So, but we were happy to see that they managed to dislodge it, as they say, refloat. Right? Over the weekend, it said it run aground. It ran aground here, and they managed to clear the channel. I don't know if they can build an artificial island or what, but they managed to clear the channel, and business as usual. But I shouldn't say business as usual because of that run-on effect of when cargo vessels like this get stuck there. Prices can go up because if goods are taking long to get to the market, the supply of goods, you get scarcity and all of that happening. So it has an effect internationally. But we were happy, as we said, to see things progressing on that front. And in other news, folks, internationally as well, even though it has some Guyanese implications, they're telling us that a Guyanese fella, was shot in a drive-by shooting, twice at least in a drive-by shooting in the US. At least twice, they're telling us that he was shot at least twice. Let me make sure that I am giving the accurate information. I want you to know that we pulled this out of news source, which is the first body to be, the first entity, rather, news entity to be reporting on this. His name is Lorex Fraser, and it says here that he's also known as Polo Boss, and he himself and another man, they were standing outside of the Impulse nightclub in Queens. The Impulse nightclub in Queens, when gunmen opened fire on a passing car, and folks want to believe, the authorities are saying, that it looks as though Fraser was the intended target of this drive-by shooting in the US of A in Queens, and that's one of the things we're tracking internationally, folks. And they're telling us that he is recovering. He's still in danger, but recovering nonetheless. Lorex Fraser from at least 2 gunshot wounds. He's not saying at least 2 gunshot wounds after that drive-by shooting in Queens, New York. You gotta be safe out there, folks. Right? You gotta watch your company, watch your dealings, and we gotta be safe out there. Yep, I think we're on to what's happening regionally, folks, and I think the Starbuck newspaper this morning says it all about what is happening regionally. Starbuck newspaper this morning will and truly encapsulate all that you need to know happening regionally, because right next door, guys, right next door in Brazil, we neighbor right next door, folks, the January 6th insurrection, right, the March 7th, GCOM Hatfield location storming happened yesterday. Right next door in Brazil. Right next door in Brazil, good folks. And, according to what we're picking up internationally, they're telling us that supporters of Bolsonaro invaded the Brazil Congress, Supreme Court, and other buildings yesterday. Of course, Jair Bolsonaro is the former president of Brazil, the recent past president, and his supporters haven't taken too kindly to the fact that, they're saying that the last elections, they were rigged. That's the accusation. That's the allegation, that the last elections were rigged. But lots of voices raised internationally at these actions of supporters of Jair Bolsonaro, his government, the last government, and some of the action that took place yesterday. Saw some scenes of windows smashing and all of that happening there. People storming buildings. It reminded us of GCOM Hatfield Street location. March 7th, I think it was. And then it took us back also to Capitol Hill. And what happened there? January 6th. They just celebrated that anniversary there. And then we had the anniversary of the storming of the GCOM building in Hatfield Street coming up in March. So quite reminiscent of those activities. And we've been saying that Hatfield Street location incident needs its own COI. Valletta Klein needs its own COI. Rhonda Gordon, Beatrice Selby, Gopal needs its own COI. Dave Cox, Isabella Butchers, it needs its own COI. So that's one of the things, guys, that we're following regionally. One of the things we are following regionally, and we're in the 592. We are in the 592, good folks. We're in the 592. Lots of things you must know happening locally. Plenty things things happening locally. We're going to get to a couple of them in just a sec. Plenty. Enough. The 592. Enough. The things that are happening. It's plenty. Enough. You know, we hear a lot of propaganda, and we can touch on some of that in a second. A lot of propaganda. We can touch on some of it in a second, because some folks have been calling it out, as they say. We're gonna touch on some of it in just a bit. But one of the things we've seen quite recently, it's a lot of talk about how Guyana, even in spite of oil and gas, or without oil and gas, is one of the leading economies, fastest growing economies, without oil and gas. That's what them boys trying to tell us. Without oil and gas, Guyana is one of the fastest growing economies in the world, even without oil and gas. Now, folks, slow down. This is propaganda masterclass. That's what they want us to believe. Even without oil and gas, we would still be the fastest growing economy. But then we got headlines like this out of the IDB that talks about a sharp decline in exports. As a matter of fact, the figures that are quoted, they are quite startling. Some of the figures that are quoted, they are tremendously startling. Tremendously startling. Sharp decline in our exports, and yet you're hearing even without oil, we'd still be the fastest growing economy. Now listen to this, right? Separate foolishness from the sense. IDB report says that exports from Guyana fell from 68% to 16%. So if we get oil and gas to Braceby, definitely Yolanda Thomas, Marilyn Lorimer, right? We got exports to Braceby. How are we the fastest growing economy in the world still without oil? That makes sense? And they haven't shown us the figures yet for the last 6 months how the economy did, but we have the half-year figures. And we told you from their own figures, rice was down, sugar down, bauxite, gold, fish production. A number of things fall under that. All were down. And if you're exporting, like you used to under the last administration, from 68.1% to 16%, how the hell could we, without oil, be the fastest growing economy in the world? Or among the fastest growing? We saw them boys' lies is catch up with them. The whole non-oil sector, everything that isn't oil in the non-oil sector. That's really everything that isn't oil and gas is in non-oil sector. What the economists call the non-oil sector. You got your bauxite, you got your manufacturing, you got your sugar production, rice production, all those things, non-oil sector. If all that is down, and not little down, you know, sugar was down by 55% mid-year. How the hell we can still be the fastest, one of the fastest growing economy in the world without oil? The lie is catching up. Anna Phillips, Red Anderson, the lie is catching up. The lie is catching up. Yep, the lie is catching up. The next story, folks, I'm happy about this because this is an area I think that we ought to be going in. Paperless. You know, too many people carrying around too much cash. And you all know where we are in this crime prevention plan. They don't have one. And they won't have one. They don't have the brains for it. And they're smart enough to bring people in the room who's smarter than them. Or who just plain smart. Because they're smart, so you can be smarter than. Bring people in the room who are just smart, who know more than you know. So we saw the GT&T CEO saying that, or rather encouraging banks to come on board, right, to go paperless. You know, we say that the MMG, that's our local cash app. Them boys want you lock around a whole set of money. That is why we say also that, you know, COVID had so many missed opportunities for this administration, so many missed opportunities, because these were the folks who were pulling around large suitcases, village to village, with money sharing out. Instead of encouraging Guyanese, right, to go get a bank account, get a bank card, and then you make some automatic deposits. But see, they like the photo apps. If I could go to the bank at any time and withdraw my money, you see, they don't get the photo app handing over the check, you know, and put it on the mall and so on. Let's go and stand outside the bank. They like that kind of show. But let me come into the 21st century. You could send money across the country, send to your family, send to your friends, send to us. It's more efficient and definitely it's more safe. Definitely it's more safe. I love this. I love this. And I hope the banks, the banking sector and businesses in general come on board and go paperless. And then you put them thieves and them robbers out of business. Come on board and go paperless. Come on board and go paperless. Of course, I ain't got to tell you what happening up north. Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, you name it. Stripe, White, you name it. You name it. So I like this one. I like this one. And you see, I see Yolanda Chalmers went paperless. Yolanda Chalmers has just contributed to our program right there on YouTube. And Yolanda nga pa walk down Regent Street and fighting somebody robber. Right there. Right there on YouTube. The Regent Street of YouTube. Right there on the Regent Street of YouTube. Yolanda Chalmers made a contribution to our program, which is going to help us to keep going. Folks, there's no other way, you know. There is no other way. There's no other way to do it. No other way. Right? But by your help. That's how we do it. But by help. We got no other way. Help not coming from no place else. God knows. Help not coming from them boys. It's not going to come from them boys. It's just not. Help not coming from them boys. So we agree with this, going paperless. And as we talk about the help doesn't coming from them boys, you know, let's take a break to tell you about the services of the Alistair Collins firm. Let's take a moment to tell you about that. The services of the Alistair Collins firm. We recommend them highly, folks. We recommend them highly. We take a moment to tell you about that. We recommend them highly, the Alistair Collins firm. We recommend them highly.
For all your legal document needs and more, the Alistair Collins firm is the place for you. If you are looking to have your statutory declarations done, affidavit of income, affidavit of identity, or guidance replacing your damaged or lost passport, or lost license, you need the Alistair Collins firm. They can also help you with tenancy agreements, agreements of settlement, your power of attorney, your last will and testament, and certification of documents. The Alistair Collins firm is located at Bacallion Mall, 162 Lamar Street in Georgetown between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths to affidavits and a justice of the peace. You can also call them at 649-6410 or 685-6446 or 503-1451. The Alistair Collins firm. Help when you need.
Recommend them highly, folks. We recommend the Alistair Collins firm highly for all of your legal needs. And you know, as we there, we really hoping we're going to circle back to some other stuff that's brewing this morning locally. As we there, we want to remind you guys, we got to up our reading in 2023. We got to up our reading. Yolanda and Gwyneth and Marilyn Lorimer, Beatrice Selby, Candy in the street. We got to up our reading, and I love the physical book in my hand. I still buy some books on Kindle and so on, right? Because you gotta stay a little up to date But I love that physical book in your hand. You smell those pages, Yolanda and Beatrice. You know, you feel that physical book. It's just a totally different experience, and you immerse yourself in whatever reading that you are doing. And I am trying to catch up with the reading I am doing. But I want to alert you folks. That Austin's book services, they got some books. They got some new books that should have been here for Christmas, but they had some delays, some importation delays. But we're exporting, we get problems importing. Where are we? But that being said, folks, Austin's got some new books that are out. You, the kids, your family, and we really want to encourage you folks, as we have been doing, to pick up on the reading. Pick up on the reading. You know, don't just lot of read just running here. See, we ain't going to do no research for ourselves. We ain't going and, you know, and this year, don't wait on them boys. You got to uplift yourself. We want to let you know some of what is happening there at Austin's book services.
I'm happy to be able to tell you and to bring you the news that we have now got many of the favorite things you've been looking for in December for Christmas presents. Across here we got these perennial bestseller classics: Kidnapped, Little Women, Little Men, Joe's Boys, Treasure Island, Robinson Crusoe, and so on. Further down the line, you will see Enid Blyton's. I think we got about 45 different titles of Enid Blyton's, the Secret Sevens and the Famous Fives, and all the other series that she has. Going even further down this line of the store, we got some of these classics to the top here. Those are here for the Christmas season, but I think people prefer the more colorful looking ones. They are so well written and adjudged to be classic. It's something that conferred upon them, like how you say sir and madam and so on. These books, because of the quality, have been deemed to be classics by those in the literary world. Not all books are designated classics. It's a special breed of books, a special type. So when you pick up a Kidnap and all these kinds of books here, these are considered classics. Oh, I just put my eyes upon Tolkien's The Hobbit. We haven't had this in the store for years. And we got now a number of them. Battles of Tolkien. What's this one? Atlas of Tolkien. You got even a dictionary of Tolkien. Dark Powers of Tolkien. And then you got to move over to the other side where we have some really attractive children's books.
Lots and lots happening down there at Austin. Lots and lots happening down there, folks. And I encourage you folks, read more this year. Read more this year. Let me elevate yourself together. Read more, folks. We're ready to get back to some of what folks happening locally. That's where we are. Some of what happening locally. And look at this one. This one here is something else. You remember we just showed you, we just talked about what was happening at Mucka. Spent all last week over the weekend doing that. Well, they're trying again to bring this land this gas to show project there at Wales, and they got to run the pipe. They got to land the gas on shore. They got to run the pipe, right? Well, some of the folks there, like the folks there at Mucka, saying, "We are away." Yeah, the people in the way too. And of course, they're saying that some of them have accepted to be relocated, to be compensated, but some others, they said they can use the law to bulldoze them. They're going to use the law to bulldoze them. They're going to use the law to bulldoze them. The folks there in the part of the pipeline. Is everybody in their way, you know? Everybody in their way. They said they can use it. They can use the law. Here's what the AG said. This is attributed to the AG, and I think we grabbed this out of Sabbath News. The owners were duly consulted the negotiated consensual arrangements, right? Negotiated consensual arrangements were right that with most of them, and the agreements are now being drawn up and discharged in accordance with the terms and conditions agreed upon. Some persons have accepted monetary compensation, while others have opted to accept alternative locations of comparative value. He said for the others, still holding out, we're going to use the law. As a matter of fact, the report says that Wednesday Gazette had a series of orders for acquisition of lands for the gas pipeline. This is what he meant by we're going to use the law. Right? You see, the folks there at Mucka, they claim were in state land and squatting. They bulldoze them. Now these folks own those homes, got titles for those homes, and they're now going to compulsory acquisition those homes. So where you safe? Title, no title, where you safe? And that's what one of the young men, I think it was Mr. Gordon Doris was saying. If you got a house and you got title, you're safe. You are not safe. You got a house and title, you think the house belongs to you? Oh, till them bites feel that they want it. Till them bites feel the house is theirs. It's their house. They feel they want it. That was the point that was being made. He said most of them have accepted. Most of them have accepted the deal. Yeah, you got a house, you think you own it? Candy, you think the house belongs to you? Gwyneth, Marlin, Carol Rollins, you think the house belongs to you? Them boys different. Very, very different. That's one of the things, guys, that we're looking at also in the morning papers. And that's one of the things happening locally as well that we got to be eyes on. That's one of the things we got to be eyes on. And then you have this one here. Now, the brutality of some people never escapes us. The sheer brutality. Fisherman burnt as man throws firecracker in his pants. The sheer brutality. Right? So if it's not them boys, it's somebody else. The sheer brutality. This story here is tremendously sad. Fella went to the shop to get some stuff. You can't even go to the shop in peace these days. Wayne Hernandez went to the shop to buy some grocery. Right? And they got him done stuck outside. Ask Wayne Hernandez to buy a Guinness for him. Well, saying got no money for Guinness. You're barely making it in this place. You see what happening with the economy? Fastest growing economy. Been exporting everything down. We're still growing fast. Fast to the bottom. Can't buy the Guinness. Came out in the shop and he said folks were lighting squibs in the area, you know, and he was just looking on at the merriment and so on. And this fella and some of his friends came up to him, lit some squibs and threw it in his pants. You know, Wayne Hernandez still waiting for justice. As a matter of fact, the family says in this report that after they went to the hospital, this is New Year's Day. This is the 9th of January now. The hospital sent them to the station. The police station chased them out. Here the account says, we didn't have any money to purchase the Guinness. So he told the man he doesn't have any. Right? He come out of the bar and the people were outside lighting scripts, and so he was watching them. The man who asked him to purchase the Guinness and two others take two lit firecrackers and threw them in his pants pocket on his leg. Right? The one he put in his pocket, it burned up all his private parts and all over. The other one burned his leg. Right? Hernandez was rushed to the Marconi Hospital to receive treatment. He was rushed to the Marconi Hospital to receive treatment, it says. Well, the relative who relating the story said that his sister went to the Marconi police station to make a report and was allegedly put out of the station. The hospital sent her to the station to make a report. They took a statement, and that was it. They never did anything about it. When she went back, they harassed her and put her out of the station. It is said here in this report, the person that was dealing with her was a female police officer that is a family member of this person who burned him. Yep. No fault of Wayne Hernandez. Went to a shop to do some business, and in the process of doing that, some fellas threw a squib in his pants. And you can't get justice for that. Right? You could be incapacitated for the rest of your life, and that's nothing big. That's nothing big, but it's me phone conversation them boys can take policemen for listening to. You see? You see in how many policemen were in Mocha? And the guns, the shots fired, the amount of police, and Wayne Hernandez, who somebody threw squibs in his pants, could have damaged him physically, as a man, reproductively, all kinds of how. Can't get justice. Yeah. And this one, Guyana, can't get justice. Yolanda Chalmers said, them boys come back. Them boys come back. They meet back. Can't get justice, folks. You can't get it. Some of what we saw in the press recently, tells us where we are. Let me tell you about this fastest growing economy and the fact that we're exporting 16% exports that from 68.1. Right? Some of our fans giving us trouble this morning, but here is Member of Parliament Annette Ferguson saying that, you know what these guys got to do? Stop with the propaganda and actually start governing inclusively. Stop with propaganda. Right? And in this letter in today's press, I think it's in Kaitro News, Member of Parliament Annette Ferguson makes the point. Ali said recently on the app, new businesses were closing. She's calling on him to name the businesses. Y'all said that y'all took off 200 taxes off of the backs of Guyanese. Name the 200 taxes. The point she makes in the letter, they're silent. They're silent in these letters. They are silent. Oh, businesses were closing on the Absolute FC. Name the businesses. 200 taxes were burdened to the Guyanese people. Name the 200 taxes. Well, we're going to wait long. It's 3 years and we're still holding. We're in a holding pattern. But here is MP Ferguson reminding us of how them guys good at propaganda. They say it often, 200 taxes, and then you can get some people who go and repeat it. You know it's 200 taxes they had on we. 200 taxes they have on us. Now let's see what we're looking at. Sabbath News editorial today. It's required reading. It talks about State House, that State House incident. Right? State House security. Right? The State House incident rather, and presidential security. The State House incident and presidential security. Again, remember that shooting at State House with the presidential guard and the civilian? Yeah. Again, folks, Sabbath News does not say it was an assassination attempt. Does not. What it says, the fellow had a knife on him, and based on all that transpired, clearly, FYI was in danger. But it took exception to the fact that when the issue was raised with Ropes and Ben quite recently, right? Ropes and Ben said that they got adequate security at State House. He said the security apparatus there is adequate. Adequate. Right? It's adequate. Again, Sabbath News stopped short of saying assassination attempt. Because this story here, they got more in the matter than on the pistol. More, folks, more. More in the matter than on the pistol. And we're heading in, folks, to the big issue this morning. The big issue we want to draw your attention to. The big issue. What is happening, folks, in this country? Anybody listening? Wayne Hernandez and family crying out for justice. Anybody listening? The big issue. Anybody listening? That's the question. People screaming for justice. Anybody listening? That's the big issue. I think it's a deaf government. Deaf government. Or when they hear you, right? They don't hear to understand, they hear to respond. And people will tell you there's a qualitative difference between hearing and listening. They hear to respond. And they can tell you whatever you're going through is not so. Because of course, it's fastest growing economy. When we talking about you get bun with script, you think you get bun, you already get bun. You know it's bun. It's a deaf government. You think you get bun, you don't really get bun. Deaf government. That's what we're focusing on, folks. That's what we're looking at with the big issue today. Right? That's what we're looking at for the big issue. Deaf government. So we're going to circle back to what Big Auntie said, because it's happening in community after community. They're hearing, but they're listening. Because here is this senior citizen clearly. Big woman. It's a senior citizen. Big woman like me. She's big. Right? Big. And she calls out their counselor. They're working. How many people I see a woman on Sheriff Street keeps complaining about noise, nuisance. Again, look, the police here could spare, right, to go and provoke the lives of the people in Mocha, in Success. And it's a woman, again, I repeat it, from Success, who made the point that this administration can marshal forces to be a burden to citizens. But when it comes to being a meaningful, bringing meaningful help to people, not so. Look, police you could marshal to go to Success, to go to Mocha. But where it matters, nobody is saying nothing there. Where it actually matters, right? Folks are silent. Listen to her. She's exasperated. She wake up one day and say, I'm going to try to make them look bad. It's just to get tired of it. People playing loud music. Women on Sheriff Street. And other people too. Some people just give up after a while. Because they say the system here ain't working. Right? They sell out the house, they pack a bag and they're gone. Over and over and over, it repeats itself. Them boys are listening. Listen to what she says. Listen to what she says. She's exasperated. Listen to what she says.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. President. Mr. President, why people can't live in peace in Kanchi Kinfield? This is years now going and coming. You complain to this NDC about this stinkness in front of you. Huh? I live in Lowside, the breeze coming on the inside. There's where I'm living. This is a residential area, according to Mr. Regional Chairman Armagan. You get the Kinfield Enterprise NDC. Sherry and are you doing nothing good for people in here? One side people she doing for just your friend and family. Not a thing. My husband there only couple, in a reach a month properly. You can consider for take a fresh air. Maybe a house and got to live inside like jail. And got lock up. Stinkness upon your head and swing your head. The thing what this man do for you, burn a chicken soon mining and on this dock and get one set of smelly thing in front of your place. Come on. Like now Guyana go divide with Hindu and Muslim. Muslim one side and Hindu one side, and because me a Hindu, me can't survive. Only one set people survive, Mr. President and Mr. Dharamlal. You're a Borbishan, you know how Borbishan people respect their religion. And you know when people learning from people how they respect their religion. You grow in Borbis, you know that. And I need some peace in Kinfield. I live here and I get a last me husband and me alone. I live in. If anything happened to me, I'm a file sick. Everybody got to know.
Ladies, she want peace. She fed up. She exasperated. LDC, waste time. Waste time. Because to them, with the fastest growing economy, everything nice. People need no services. For them, everything nice is nice time. Oh, folks, y'all better share. Let me expose the foolishness happening in this place. Let's do how things and get better, you know. Can't just sit down and you hope that things will get better. Actively, you got to put things in place. Actively. And that's just one of the things, you know. That's just one of the things we're looking at because, folks, over the weekend we saw another person. We saw another person who's saying, I like what's seeing here. I like what's seeing. Remember we point out the issue in this one Guyana, right? Elderly woman gets a house fully furnished. Another woman with kids, right? She get a little scrappy thing. A little thing, empty shell. People looking, and people seeing, and people don't like it. People looking, people seeing, and they don't like it. We saw a young man over the weekend voice his own concerns in his own way. You can fool some of the people some of the time. You can't fool everybody all the time. So, Mr. AG who comes and says to us, oh, we're fighting corruption. And then you got the good bishop who says, we don't care who you vote for. It's true. We don't care who you vote for. Always one family. We don't care. It's true. You're certain? You're certain? Listen to what the fella says.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I would like to highlight something. And I would like the world to know this here. And I would like to every single Guyanese to know this here. So last year, within the month of December, I see the government at Hanover Fee House, the Guyanese citizen, which is a good thing, yes. It's a motivating thing to people. But my point is, they give out brand new house with everything inside, set chair, big flat screen TV, wiring, etc. To people with straight hair like me. See my hair straight hair? Like me, with every single thing inside. But this is a wake-up call for guide these people to think and have a brain to think, right? We give out people with straight hair like me, build house with every single thing, cotton ribbon, like it's a government official ceremony, which which is indeed, right? But my point of view now, I would like to say to pick up to the government. Yes, they reach out to people that who suffering and those things, and they make difference in those life and those things. But then again, they went to Linden, which is totally disrespectful. They went to Linden and built a house for a family, right? On 2 blocks. 2 blocks. The whole inside the house is made of plywood. Quarter-inch ply. Where bonnet could go on the straight and very fast rated. Right? No furniture. Hand over the house to the family. A family with children that who could make a difference in the future. You don't know that within one of that woman's child could be the next president or next prime minister or next minister in this country in the future, right? You know, a young generation now don't forget things simply easy, which I don't forget things simply easy. You hand over a house with nothing inside, and you think people now going to applaud you and give you an okay, oh, you did something great. You did something great, put a shelter, yes. But you didn't show where that individual or where that family was living before, which the 2 houses that the government are producing to the people that the 2 straight hair like me before where they was living. So I would like people to know to understand. A lot of people straight hair like me to understand. And a lot of people that who have curly hair like me to understand that what is going on is totally nonsense, because you can't give out people with straight hair, fully furnished, electricity, cable free for 1 year and those things to a straight hair individual family to think that, oh, there's a good thing for the Christmas and all kind of thing, which is a good thing, yes. For me, it's a good thing, yes. It changed life. Then if we go to African region, you should do the same. You should do the same which you did for what is it? Suplikin community or region, right? Because that's what we call him. Where the soup is leaking, they already put them out, right? But it's totally disrespectful that you go to an African community region, and it's totally disrespectful that I look at it. You hand over a house uncompletely. The walls in the house is plywood. And it's totally, I know to myself that no minister or no government official that have a house that have plywood for the wall inside. That is sheetrock, wood or concrete. And it's totally disrespectful to the whole country and the whole African Negro society in the country of Guyana. and throughout the whole country, regions, the 10 region administration region in this country here, right? But a lot of people now wouldn't see it because a lot of people now hanging their mouth with their soup leaking because they want to get a hype. So I see they hand over a house to a granny, which is 80-something years old, and she's almost at her grave, right? She could, granny, is not disrespectful or those things. It's a good thing, yes. You could look for the elderly, which is the elderly that who that sacrificed themselves to make it better again, yes. But you did something great for a family in Barbies. A mother with 6 children and she got pregnant for one. I don't comment, yes. But a family in London, which is a African community, 90% is African living in London. It's totally disrespectful. You give a home to an African, curly hair, a hard hair like steel wool, right? Curly like steel wool. Steel wool is curry pat with, or pat scrubber. With nothing inside, nothing. Waiting for volunteer to produce something in that home there. It's totally disrespectful. And in Hanover, in a home, right on a 2 block above the sun. No fences, no concrete walkway, no concrete downstairs. But you can't have a concrete down because it's not 2 block off the ground, 60 inch off the ground. It's totally disrespectful, and the African community needs to stand up. And we as a Guyanese is one nation, one destiny, and one people. That was the motto, right? But see now, a lot of people just get influenced and carried away. Things that the government is doing, or government official is doing. The way that I see it, as an individual from London, I visited my home last year. It's totally disrespectful, right? If you're doing something with somebody and you want to get a hype, do it in a properly manner. Because end of the day, right, that the people that who go and build at home is not their money coming from their pocket. Is people like me and you, money come out that who paying tax and those things, and Guyana wealth, producing a good life to people. And a good life is for each and every single individual. For the nation Guyana, to be between Amerindian, African, Chinese, Portuguese, whatsoever it is, that living in Guyana. It can be any races. We have 6 races in Guyana. That you don't need to go and nice up one race in England because
Folks, I don't need to add anything else. That 9 minutes is a masterclass on race relations in Guyana. That is a masterclass on race relations. If an Indian brother can look and see that's wrong, Irfan blind? Huh? Nandalal blind? Vindhya blind? See, when I talk about that 16 days of hypocrisy, but is anybody going to hear him? Maybe you'll see it. But when you hear somebody else point of view, you might say, you know what, I didn't see this way before, but now I got a second look. Now I get a second look. I like what's saying. I like what's saying. Isn't a deaf government? Anybody gonna hear him? Anybody in the government gonna hear him? And do something positive and not try to victimize him? Big auntie, anybody gonna hear her? Wayne Hernandez, born with those firecrackers thrown in his pants. Anybody gonna hear? Anybody hearing Wayne? Big auntie on Sheriff Street with a noise nuisance. Anybody hearing her? And the countless other issues that permeate and pervade and ubiquitous in our society. Anybody can hear that? Anybody can chime with me? Anybody out there? Anybody? Anybody? That's what we want. Anybody? Get time with us here? Anybody? 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 You have a story for us? 627-6963. Do you have a story for us? 627-6963. That is the number you're going to want to. WhatsApp is 21st century. WhatsApp we. You got a story for us? 627-6963. Folks, in addition to that, your product, your service could be right in that space. Right there. Your product, your service could be right there. Like right there. Your product, your service, your business, your event, right there. Same number, 627-6963. 627-6963. And of course, guys, we want to recommend, again, the Alistair Collins for all of your legal needs. You need a commissioner of votes affidavit, a justice of the peace, and a number of other services they provide for. A number of other services, of course, we recommend it. Again, a number of other services.
I'm happy to be able to tell you and to bring you the news that we have now got many of the favorite things you've been looking for in December for Christmas presents. Across here we got these perennial classics: Kidnapped, Little Women, Little Men, Joe's Boys, Treasure Island, Robinson Crusoe, and so on. Further down the line, you will see Enid Blyton's. I think we got about 45 different titles of Enid Blyton's, the Secret Sevens and the Famous Fives, and all the other series that she has. Going even further down this line of the store, we got some of these classics at the top here. Those are here for the Christmas season, but I think people prefer the more colorful looking ones. They are so well written and adjudged to be classic. It's something that conferred upon them, like how you say sir and madam and so on. These books, because of the quality, have been deemed to be classics by those in the literary world. Not all books are designated classics. It's a special breed of books, a special type. So when you pick up a Kidnap and all these kinds of books here, these are considered classics. Oh, I just put my eyes upon Tolkien's The Hobbit. We haven't had this in the store for years. And we got now a number of them, Battles of Tolkien. What's this one? Atlas of Tolkien. You got even a dictionary of Tolkien. Dark Powers of Tolkien. And then we got to move over to the other side where we have some very attractive children's books.
For all your legal document needs and more, the Alistair Collins firm is the place for you. If you are looking to have your statutory declarations done, affidavit of income, affidavit of identity, or guidance replacing your damaged or lost passport or lost license, you need the Alistair Collins firm. They can also help you with tenancy agreements, agreements of settlement, your power of attorney, your last will and testament, and certification of documents. The Alistair Collins firm is located at the Callion Mall, 162 Lamaha Street in Georgetown between Camp and Waterloo Streets. Alistair Collins is a commissioner of oaths to affidavits and a justice of the peace. You can also call them at 649-6410 or 685-6446 or 503-1451. The Alistair.
That's going to do it for us this morning, folks. Thanks for staying with us. Pamela Dover, Maria Vera, good to have you. Agatha Hope. That's going to do it for us. We're going to see you guys back on the podcast at 12. Albert Morgan, good to have you. Lynette Fraser, good to have each and every one of you. Beatrice Selby, good to have you. Tommy Gibbs, great to have you. Marlon Lorma, Marlon Thomas, good to have you, folks. Lena Williams, great to have each and every one of you. Candy. We're going to pick up on this conversation, folks, at the 12 o'clock hour. We are going to pick up on it. As we said, great to have each and every one of you here with us. Good folks, good people. Great to have you folks here with us. It's been that kind of day. It has been that kind of morning. Maria Vera, Candy the Leader Energy, Paul and Haynes. Great to see each and every one of you guys. Go ahead and have a fantastic morning. We're going to see you guys right back here in the podcast, folks. Right back here in the podcast. Stay safe. Stay safe.